keep your chat open, keep questions coming. I will look at them, may not answer it immediately, but will try and answer as soon as I have a little pause or a break during the session. Session itself is for about 50 minutes. We will have a few slides that we'll talk about Microsoft Copilot and how it impacts, what it is, what it can do. We'll then move on to a live demo in which I can showcase what's Microsoft 365 with the Business Premium account that you get. And I've got a lot more of the Copilot demos ready for you, right? So at the end of the session, what you would leave with, a couple of examples that I show you that you could immediately apply and use post the session, and a couple of them thought-provoking and hopefully exciting to think about whether you want to check them out or more, which you can have a chat with Audrey later. All right. So welcome. Let's get started. We all know that we are at a unique moment in time that is made possible in a large part by the digitalization of business. For those of you who remember old times, like this digitalization and what it's caused. But we are now at a really unique moment in time. Entire industries are transforming. The macroeconomic environment is shifting. And we are truly at a technological inflection point. So previously, I'm sure you remember, right? When we've all been working with chatbots for a while now. But most of the time, chatbots were more like a menu section. Think about chatbots in your banking or whenever you go to a travel website and you chat with a chatbot then. Used behind the scenes, which is to optimize inventory, direct ride sharing, optimizing advertising, or pretty much focused on FAQs to an extent. They were pretty limited to structured data, databases, forms, maps, and more. Whereas now, you can actually talk to chatbots. AI can generate language at a university graduate on almost any topic. So imagine having that chatbot in your organization or on your website in there. Let's have a look at technology and impact, right? We know that mobile phones, when they started, they took about 16 years to hit 100 million users. The internet took about 7 years. Facebook took 4.5 years. In comparison to that, ChatGPT took 3 months to hit 100 million users. Imagine just 3 months, 100 million users. You can also see the impact of AI on global GDP, which has been significant as it goes along. So the impact is real and it's here to stay. To identify these shifts, Microsoft relies on data, and that's why Microsoft produces what they call as the Work Trend Index. It's an annual global reporting serving as the barometer for work. And more than 31,000 people across 31 countries were surveyed. Those findings were paired with trillions of data points aggregated from Microsoft 365, LinkedIn's Labor Index, Glint People, Science Studies, along with key academic research. And what they found in the new work patterns is the pace and volume of work is unlike anything we've experienced before. We're spending too much time searching for information, navigating inefficient meetings, which leaves less time for deep thinking, creating, social collaboration. The volume of data, emails, chats have outpaced our ability to process it all. We call it the digital debt. Every minute spent managing this digital debt is a minute not spent on creative work. And in a world where creativity is the new productivity, digital debt is more than an inconvenience. It's impacting businesses real time. Nearly 2 in 3 people say they don't have enough time and energy to do their job. You can raise your hand or give me a little thumbs up if you believe this is true in your organization as well. And those same employees are 3.5 times likely to struggle with innovation and strategic thinking, right? The Modern Work Index Trend Report finds that organizations need to invest in AI-driven solutions to stay competitive, and that workers need to develop new skills to take advantage of AI opportunities. This is critical for every organization, including all of ours, which are small and medium enterprises, to ensure that we invest in AI-driven solutions in order to stay competitive and get our staff to develop new skills to take advantage of the opportunities present. It's not about reducing the workforce, but it's about enabling the workforce together. That's why the most important thing about Copilot is that you're always in control. You can decide what to keep, what to modify, what to discard. So introducing Microsoft Copilot. What you saw is real time. All you need to do is ask the right questions and you would have the answers at your fingertips. I know this is a video, but we are a very small organization ourselves, and we've got Copilot, and it truly changes the way you work. It's really hard to then go back. Makes it super, super efficient. What is Copilot? Copilot combines the power of large language models with your data in Microsoft Graph and the Microsoft 365 apps that we all love, all accessed through natural language to turn your words into the most powerful productivity tool on planet. Don't have to remember formulas, don't have to remember where to find things, just use your words to get what you want. Microsoft 365 Copilot combines the power of large language models with your data in Microsoft Graph, your emails, chats, documents, and more, and the Microsoft 365 apps to turn your words into the most powerful productivity tool. My M365 Copilot isn't just a better way of doing the same things, it's entirely a new way of working. And the key part always to remember is that Copilot works alongside you, embedded in the apps millions of people use every single day. It accesses your calendar, emails, chats, documents, meetings, contacts to do things you've never been able to do before and do it extremely efficiently. You can give it natural language prompts like, tell my team how we updated the product strategy, and it will generate a status update based on the morning's meetings, emails, and chat threads, combining them all together. It accesses your calendar, emails, chats, documents, and it brings it all together in one seamless flow. So Copilot is basically integrated into Microsoft 365. It works alongside you, embedded in the millions apps everyone uses. So you can be more creative in Word, more analytical in Excel, very expressive in PowerPoint, highly productive in Outlook, and even more collaborative in Microsoft Teams. Let's understand a little bit of the technology behind it. So Microsoft 365 Copilot is built on Microsoft's comprehensive approach to security, compliance, privacy, and responsible AI. So you know it's enterprise ready. Copilot does not use your business data for its training. In today's session, what I'm going to show you is a couple of things. One, of course, your business standard applications that you can use immediately, some of your business premium that are possible, and I'm going to show you Microsoft 365 Copilot with commercial data protection, which is available with Microsoft Business Premium accounts, standard as well as business accounts. And you can start using those immediately. I will then show you Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is built on the productivity apps, and that has a separate conversation, right? But with everything, please remember, Copilot does not use your business data for training. This is a short video, and I think the video explains far more clearly how Microsoft 365 Copilot works in the backend. So remember that you're always in control. So let's have a quick look at what it does, and I'll get into the next part then. And that's where Ask Me Anything goes along, because it will work with your existing documents within your SharePoint, as well as over the World Wide Web, to bring you the resources and results required all together. So Microsoft's products, we know that are extremely rich and powerful. We all use them, but most people tap into less than 10% of what these apps are capable of. What if the tools could learn how you work rather than the other way around? We all know how much time we've spent on trying to learn the tools in order to gain efficiency. Well, I think Microsoft just come back to say, you know what, I'll just get the tools to learn how you work and help you along the way. So M365 Copilot works alongside you in the apps you use every day. Using just your own words, and it can be in the way you express it normally, you can put Copilot to work, gathering information in real time from across your data and apps to unleash creativity, unlock productivity, and up-level skills. So with this, I'm going to change screens now. And I guess that this is where the exciting part comes. I'm going to do some live demos. Keep your questions flowing in chat if you've got any. Right? Give me a minute to share my screen. Right? So the first one, I guess it's the same presentation. Don't worry, I'm not going to repeat myself once again. But we're all small and medium enterprises based in Singapore. Around us are several countries that we would love to work with and expand our businesses. However, a lot of the times language is a barrier when we want to do a sales pitch or want to present what we've got. I know we can always hire people with translation skills, but when you're just trying to expand your business, does it really make sense to have a translator there? Introducing Microsoft Present Live. This is something that's available to you right now in your Business Standard and Business Premium accounts. So I'm just in the presentation. I'm going to start Present Live. Just give me a second. Okay, hold on one second. For whatever reason, my Present Live is, okay, I'm showing it to you. Teams, okay, hold on. Just resharing my screen once again. It's very deadly quiet. Okay, so off we go. Slideshow, there you are. So I'm going to make my presentation a lot more inclusive with multiple languages. And I'm going to go into Present Live in here because you're all outside my organization. I'm going to present it to you in any language that you'd like. So there you are, Present Live. And in here, just keep your phones ready, everyone. What we'll get now is a QR code. Scan the QR code. We're all really good at it. And on your phone, choose a different language. So obviously I'm speaking in English. I'd encourage you to choose any language of your choice on the left-hand side of the phone. On the right-hand side, you should be able to see emojis. So if you like a particular slide, you could give me a thumbs up or an emoji as we go along. Thank you. You can have as many people join this Present Live. So it can be 50, 100, 500, or 1,000, right? Imagine each one of them choosing their own different language. So one presentation for Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, all together. And off we go. I've got 13 joined. All right, 15. Let's give it another second. I can continue through the presentation, and remember that the ppt.ms/hyperlink is always available. So you can still have people join the presentation as we go along. As I go through the slides, what do you notice now? One, I've got my subtitles on, which means that at the bottom, my subtitles are in English. Now, let's say most of my population or most of my customers speak only one specific language. So I can actually change my subtitle language. While I speak in English, it could either be in Malay, it could be in Bahasa, it could be in simplified Chinese or Hindi. So I can have the subtitle language at the bottom, which is about 98% accurate when it comes to translation. Let me know how your translation in individual languages is going along. Give me a little thumbs up to say it's good. Do you like it? Thank you. So this is present live, available to you right now. When I end the presentation, it will also end it on your phone. And remember that it works for about 10 meters. So even if you were away from your desk and walking, let's say, to the kitchen, you could still follow along my presentation as you go along. So that's present live, and I'm going to end the session now. It'll end on your phones in a few minutes. What you will get is a short feedback form. So you could just give it feedback as well. And then I, as a presenter, get an email exactly after the presentation to tell me which slides, with how many likes or notifications did I get, where were my customers most engaged on which particular slide, and the feedback in terms of my presentation skills, of course, right? So that's present live, available to you right now. You can go and check on your own PowerPoint presentation, try it out with your colleagues at work. Another quick one, and I'll let you try this on your own, is called Rehearse with Coach. I know that several times when we have a new staff, and most of the times doesn't matter how much we prepare for it, we also need to upskill our presentation skills. Gone are the days when you need to speak to your mirror or present yourself and have your presentation relied upon in the mirror. Check out Rehearse with Coach, and you can rehearse as many times and let AI give you feedback live as you go along with your presentation skills. So I'll let you try that as homework. Moving on, Microsoft Teams, one of our favorites, right? We all love Teams, we all work with Teams extensively. Again, an existing feature within your Microsoft Teams right now is called Loop. Remember when we always made a to-do list? Now we send the to-do list and you wanted to add a few other things to it. What happens? You either copy paste that and you keep adding on to the same list. With Microsoft Loop, you can stay updated constantly at any point of time. Loop is right here in chat, so you can just set up a loop. It can be a bulleted list, a checklist, a paragraph, question and answer, and more, right? A voting table. Do you want to meet up for lunch? Whatever you'd like, and it's always updated. The cool part, as you can see, is I've got my colleague Megan. She's updating, and we've got two loops, and she's updating anything out here. So even though this chat was, I guess, much earlier in December, I can still go back to it and update it. And if my loop was saved in an email or in another place, it will automatically get updated with the latest features in there. So once again, in here, I can just add details. And as I add along, she will get it, as well as my email gets updated constantly. All I need to do is copy the component, move it into email, and Microsoft Loop will make sure that it's always updated, whether on email or on Microsoft Teams. So check out Loop, which is available to you right now in your chat. Moving on to the next exciting part, which is Copilot. Now remember, Microsoft has renamed all its products in terms of the AI that it's got as Copilot. There are several Copilots. So remember that there is something known as Copilot with commercial data protection. This is known as, if you previously used Bing Chat, it's been renamed as Copilot CDP, or commercial data protection. And that's my next one that I'm going to show you, right? So let's go along. So briefly, first, you have Copilot in the browser. Now, Copilot in the browser is with public domain. It's with commercial data protection. This is free and it's available to you right now. So anything that I demo at present with Copilot in browser, you just simply need to log in and you can use it. Then as we move on to the next ones, I'll speak about those. So let's go Copilot in the browser. Remember Edge browser. First thing, Edge browser. When you open up Edge browser, on your right-hand side at the top, you would see this little bolt in blue. It's called Copilot in the browser, right? Now in here, you have an option to choose a conversational style. Remember, as I mentioned, it's conversation. It's not just instructions. It's a conversational style with your AI bot. You can ask for it to be creative. You can ask for it to be balanced, or you can ask for it to be more precise. In here, I'm asking it to summarize the top 5 customers that looked for electric bikes in 2023. I'm a bike manufacturer or a bike reseller, and I'd like to know the features, right? Off I go. I'll let Copilot do its job, and within a few seconds, based on the information available through the web, it's come back with the top 5 features. It's come back with ads relevant with the pricing. One of the key components that's different to the other chat GPT or the other tools that you may be using are that with Bing Chat or with Copilot, you get links, which are critical for you to verify where that information is coming from. It's not just coming from the deep valley that AI is creating, but it's getting you relevant information. You can verify it, right? So there you are. And I've got information about the top 5 features. For my next demo, I'm going to get it now to compose something for me. And I'm going to get it to compose a summary of a company executive's email with the top 5 features that customers looked for. Fine. Copilot told me all about it, but now I want to send an email to my company executives, right? Do I write it? Do I type it? Well, I'll get Copilot to do it. Obviously, my style, I want it professional. I want it in an email format. I want a short one. No one has time to read really long ones. Generate draft. And off you go. There's a draft that's already been generated. You can now copy paste that into your email and send it out. Same applies. You can try ideas. You can try it with blog post. So you now can have a blog post about the 5 top features of your bikes and have it posted out there. Coming back. Now I've shut the Copilot in the browser there, and I'm coming to the main browser. And in here, you need to go to copilot.microsoft.com. You can try that out. So copilot.microsoft.com. First step, you have to sign in. If you've got your business standard, you've got your business premium account, sign in with that. If not, you can sign in with your personal Live or Hotmail account as well, right? Sign in, obviously put in your details, your password, and in case you've got Authenticator, ensure that your Authenticator works with it. In there, this is what you would get. So if you're already signed in into your chat, you should have your account at the top. It should say that it's protected, which means that your personal data and company data are protected in this chat. And this chat model is not using it to try or test or capture any information at the back end. So this is really critical in comparison to any of the other AI tools that you use. Now here, what I've got is I've got a product specs that I'd already highlighted that I was created in my Word document. So this is something from my company, right? I'm going to copy this, go back to my Copilot, paste it in here. So I've said that use this information, which is what I'm giving it to you, to write a short value proposition on the Thunderbolt e-bike, because obviously this data resides with me. So there I paste it and I send it out. Now using this information, a couple of things to verify. One, I know for sure that Microsoft's not using my data for its large language model testing and training at the back end. Two, because it's protected, I'm able to now use it simply through the browser for it to come back with the evaluation using my personal data or my company data in here, right? Three, it gives me all the links that are required as to where this information has come from, so I can verify it before I send it out. So there you are, the Thunderbolt e-bike value proposition written by Copilot in here. What else can it do? I can then ask it to compare the specs with the top 3 e-bikes in a tabular summary using short descriptions and citations. Let's send it out. Just look at the top right here. Can you see this Excel thing? It gives it to you in a table format, and I can export it to Excel immediately, along with, of course, the relevant links, the chats in terms of where I can purchase the bikes and more that are in there. So I love the fact that when I ask it for comparisons, I get it in a table format I can take it into Excel and use it for my further work that's required. Last one, it can draw logos for you. I mean, try drawing images. We've done some fantastic work, and if you have some time in the end, we can have some fun with Superman and Batman, all right? So draw a logo for Northwind's Thunderbolt electric bike, and it'll come out and actually create a logo for you into the same browser that you're using. So you can use your logo or get it to create another one, make it more colorful and more. So what we've shown you right now is Copilot with commercial data protection. For the last one, what I've got here is the e-bike, and it's a presentation that's been created. So I'm going to go back into my Copilot on the right-hand side, and under chat, I'm going to get it to create a half dozen short social media posts, because obviously my bike is ready, but I want to post it on social media with this, right? So social media posts based on this web page, and include emojis as you go along for your LinkedIn, for your Facebook, and more. And there you are. It's actually generating social media posts based on your website with the emojis added in. You can copy and paste this into your social media, and off it goes. So that's your Thunderbolt e-bike. Now the next one, just remember that when you're using the browser, if there's something that you don't need, ensure that you sign out of it, especially if you're not using your own computer or if you're using a public domain computer or a shared computer, right? So ensure that you sign out. So it's signed out invariably, and ensure that that's signed in. So what I showed you, just as a quick recap, this was Copilot. This is built into your accounts with commercial data protection. So as an example, if I simply go to a new browser and I click on this, because remember I'm signed in as a sync, I click on the Copilot, it will take me to the same page as I was previously, right? And I can do a search for creative, balanced, precise, put in all the different prompts that I want in order to get it. This is available for you at present with your business standard and your business premium accounts at no additional cost. Moving on, shifting hats, coming to the productivity demo, which is the most exciting one with Copilot again. This is Microsoft 365 Copilot embedded in all your Microsoft 365 apps, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, and Outlook. And this takes your productivity to a whole new range. First demo, this is a demo within a Microsoft Teams meeting. So we all have Teams meetings, right? What do we do most of the time? There's someone taking notes, or I know that it's being recorded and you have a transcription at the back end that comes through, but someone still needs to read through the transcription to understand what needs to be done, when, and who needs to do it. So with Microsoft 365 Copilot in Teams, you get a little app at the top. It's Copilot. When you click on Copilot, it's your assistant with you. So recognize, hi Samantha, how can I help you today? And I've maybe joined this meeting a tad bit late. Happens all the time. Recap this meeting for me, Copilot, and it will generate an output to recap exactly what was discussed from the transcript. I can then ask further questions about the meeting to say, how does the group feel about inventory status? So far, what has been the thought or the discussion? And it'll give me a report. I can even ask it. So it'll give you prompts at the end of it. You could either use the same prompt. What I generally tend to do is, one, I get it to give me action items that are required at the end of this meeting. What were the exact action items that I need to do in this whole scope? Because obviously there are different people that need to do different things. So what's most relevant for me, right? And Copilot gives you all that information. So this has definitely transformed, because previously, every time I was in a Teams meeting, I would still be taking notes in the side just to ensure that I knew what I needed to be done at the end of it. I no longer do that. And honestly, it takes better notes. Doesn't matter how good I could take it, It does a brilliant job of notes. It does a brilliant job of capturing, to an extent, emotions or understanding the tone of voice that was spoken with and providing you with accurate information about the meeting. So this is Teams meetings, Copilot within Microsoft Teams meetings and what it can do for you, right? Just moving on to the next one, let's go to Outlook. So just as I come to Outlook and before I click, what are the key things? Remember, with Teams, what overwhelms you? Sometimes it's the number of chat messages that have come through. Sometimes it's in meetings when you need to take notes. Sometimes it's just all the information that has come through in various team sites. One of the cool part with Copilot is the next day, once you open up Teams, you can simply click on Copilot and say, update me on this group chat. What was the latest discussion? What and where was I mentioned, or what is my relevant work that I need to do? And Copilot will update you rather than you having to go through all those chat messages. So not just in Teams meetings, you can use it on your Microsoft Teams surface itself to update you with several things. Now shifting gears, where's the other place that a lot of people get overwhelmed with? Oh my God, I've got another 100 emails. Oh my God, I've got another 50 emails that I've got to go through before I can do work, right? Or there's a whole range of thread of conversations, and great that Microsoft keeps the conversations together, but I've still got to spend time reading the conversation, summarizing it to say, what do I need to respond now? There's Copilot to help you. Summarize this email. It's given me the information exactly about what Kevin needed to do, which is included. So what did Kevin mention? And right in here, if I actually want a response back, it will let me summarize the email and draft a response back, which I can read through and send it out. If you're not comfortable with Copilot drafting your response, you can also get Copilot to give you feedback on your own email that you've drafted, and it will give you feedback on clarity. It will give you feedback on your tone of email that you're sending out immediately, which you can rectify and send out. So I love the fact that Copilot is next to me. It's not taking over, but it's working with me, and it's helping me accelerate the speed of my work in terms of what I need to do very, very quickly, right? So that was Outlook. Now the next one, Microsoft Word. So in Word, you know that every time you open up, yes, you can have ideas and you can think about things that with editor that could come across, right? Some of these features are pre-built in. However, with Copilot, I now want to draft a proposal which is based on, and I'm going to give it the file. My file is saved on my SharePoint. So I'm going to give it a file, and my reference file is going to be the Contoso construction planning. Once I've got that, I'm going to get it to generate a proposal plan for me. We all need to do our tenders, remember? We've already got previous tender documents that we've worked with, and we know that we've got to rectify or change a few things. But give it comparison documents and get it to create the entire flow for you. You can then go in and amend. That first part that takes time, right? Initially, Copilot's able to do that for you. So I can now either keep it or I can get it to regenerate it. All right, we're going to keep this one. So as you can see, it's got a project scope, timeline, budget, and details all in here. I can either copy certain information. So maybe I want to add further details to the project scope. So you can just come in there, click, and Copilot comes along with you exactly where you click, right? So I now want you to inspire me in terms of the project scope. So it will use my own document to inspire me with additional information that needs to be added in. Cool part is, again, as I said, Copilot works with you. A lot of the times I start my own document. I write it, but then I want it to be improved. So I highlight the whole thing and I tell Copilot, help me rewrite this. And then I see what I want written at the end of the document in there. There you are. Your proposal is ready. And how long did it take? A few minutes. So that's Copilot in Word. So we did Copilot in Teams for meetings, helping you recap what's happening in meetings, where do you need to do the work. Maybe you need to create proposals. Maybe you need to find information about it and research. 2, we drafted an email based on the fact that I needed to read the entire email summary, get out the information, and send it out to my executives. 3, I come into Word now, maybe it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I start drafting my proposal using Copilot, and it's ready. Well, great, proposal's ready, but now my boss tells me, too long, Swapna. No one's going to read so many words. Why don't you create a presentation that I can show my C-level executives? I go, oh, all right, okay, I've got to create a presentation now. So off we go into PowerPoint. Introducing Copilot PowerPoint. Get started. So once again, what would you like? I want to transform a file, which is my existing Word file, into a presentation. And it's a Word document that I've created. Maybe it's 40 pages long. That's in there. So I want to transform the file into a presentation. Click that across. Just remember a couple of things. In your Word document, when you create it, ensure that you're using the right format in terms of headings, layouts. As long as your layout is accurately displayed, the presentation comes out brilliantly. If it's simply a Word document with no headings or no titles, it'll put the information into a presentation, but it has some little more work that you need to do. So good thought is always when you're creating the Word document, if you use the right format, creating it into a presentation is very quick. You can use PDF files, you can use Word files to get it into a presentation in here. Right? So that was PowerPoint. And for my last demo, it's going to be Excel. And of course, we all know the Excel enthusiasts, right? We know we've got to remember our formulas. We've got to remember exactly how to concatenate and how to do a whole range of things with Excel. So introducing Copilot in Excel, and use the power of AI to add columns, formulas, format tables, get insights all about your data in Excel. Just remember that Copilot at present can make mistakes. So remember to just verify before you send it out. And second, Microsoft, of course, appreciates any feedback that you can send across as the model learns. Get started. So the first thing, what would you like help with? Don't show decimal points for the sale amounts. Now imagine if I just don't want those decimal points. I know I can go in up there and change it, but I don't want decimal amounts. I just speak pure basic English, and that's what I'm telling Copilot to do. Off it goes, working on it, and we'll take the decimal points out in there. Yes, I know for those of you who already know where to find things, you'll be able to do it. So applied the number format on X, auto fit it into columns. What did Copilot do? It applied the number format on the columns I, and again auto fit the columns to ensure that it looked neat and nice. Next, mark in yellow any gross sales over 500K. Now remember, previously you would need to do conditional formatting, and there would be someone sitting there doing a conditional formatting for you. Now I get the spreadsheet, I tell it, mark any gross sales over 500K in yellow. I want it in green, or I want it in purple, whatever, right? And there you are. And it doesn't matter how long your spreadsheet, it will just do it. And the cool part is that it tells you what changes were made. Now remember the version history. If you've attended my sessions before, you always can go back to your version history to test out what was the version changes that were there previously. So you're not losing out on any data. So it created a cell value with conditional formatting. I didn't have to do that. Copilot did it for me. And lastly, show me insights for my data. So it's working on it. It'll come out with pivot tables. It'll come out with pivot charts and whole range. And I can now add all insights into a new sheet. So there you are. All of my pivot table and charts based on this data have been pre-created. I choose which ones I want to put inside my presentation, and off we go. So it's not yet working with formal charts. It's mainly working with pivot tables at present, but there is further work that's being done on Excel. And very soon you should be able to export this into a PowerPoint presentation, and off you go. So that was Copilot with Microsoft 365. Of course, it can do a lot more, but remember, it's still at the starting point at present. and it's only getting better by the day as it goes along. The last one with Microsoft Teams. So once again, remember I told you about the chat. What are the upcoming milestones for a particular project recloud? We ask that, and it will look through all your Teams files and let you know exactly what are the milestones that are in there. It will give you a reference as to which file has it taken from, and I can ask it further questions in terms of what are the risks for this particular project. So remember, no more of the tabular or watching the project files and more, and it'll give you the mitigated risks, what have been documented and more. So Copilot is like your own personal assistant sitting in on your files to give you information. Remember, with protection, it's only on the files that you have access to. If you don't have access to those files, it's not going to give you information about them. And of course, then it's going to even suggest mitigation. That's your job, so you could think about it as well, or you can ask Copilot for some ideas as you go along with it. And the last one, once I've got all of this information, I want to write a message to the team outlining the risks and mitigations, and it'll help me draft a nice, neat message that I can send out to my team. And that's my day done. So I've done so much work, but I think I can be a lot more productive rather than just working on one particular proposal to working on multiple of those, along with my aid Copilot in here. So here you are, the proposals present, and here's the possible message. You can actually click on each one of these and it'll tell you which files and where has it actually got the information for. So it's no longer about you actually creating the whole thing, but it's about you checking, verifying, understanding, and creating the right prompts to get the message. It definitely requires higher order thinking as you work with Copilot in there, right? So off we go. I'm just going to this one last message in here to create a SWOT analysis about the recloud project, and it will also create a SWOT analysis going out the web, searching for things across your files, messages, and more. And there you are. You've got a SWOT message that's created for you by Copilot. Just so that we have a little more time with our with everyone for Q&A, I'm just coming back to the slides at present. For a quick recap, key things to remember is that it's important to know how to prompt Copilot. It's not the same as search. Remember the Copilot with CDP that I showed you in the browser? Prompt is about how you ask Microsoft 365 Copilot to do something for you, like creating, summarizing, editing, or transforming. And in order for you to get the best response, it's important to focus on the key elements below when phrasing your Copilot prompts. What is your goal? What is the context? What do you need it? What is the source of information, the file that you want to go? Remember the copy and paste that I did. What's the expectation from Copilot that you want it to do? How should it respond, right? So what you need to think about is the prompt. Think of it as if you were talking to a helpful coworker. No need to stress over the order, formatting, or structure. Just keep it in your conversational style as you ask questions. Recap. Microsoft's definitely leading the way in the era of AI. Use AI responsibly. It's your turn to discover how you can achieve more with Microsoft 365 Copilot. Go ahead and try out Copilot with commercial data protection right now. Come back to us and Audrey and the team if you'd like to know more about security features that can be availed with business premium accounts. And of course, unleash your creativity, enhance your productivity, and up level skills. Quick one, GitHub data, which is Microsoft's GitHub, shows that Copilot promises to unlock productivity for everyone. Among developers who use GitHub Copilot, 88% say they're more productive. 74% say they can focus on more satisfying work, and 77% say it helps them spend less time searching for information or examples. ending out, we're from EduConnect, and we can help teams, of course, deliver, conduct trainings, and more with you. If you're interested, please let Audrey know about. We're open for questions. If you can scan the QR code for your feedback. Any questions, please feel free to pop them in chat. Thank you so much, and over to you, Audrey. Audrey, we can't hear you.
Hear me?
Yes, good.
Thank you, Swapna, for that very informative workshop. We are now open for any questions. If any like pose to Swapna, just let us know here or maybe type in the chat. One. Very quiet. Okay, if not, thank you all for joining us today. If you have any questions that you would like to know more about Microsoft Business Premium or Copilot, please do reach out to myself or James. And I will be sending a feedback form to you shortly. So please help to fill in the form so we can better cater and help with your IT needs. And if you have any other questions, you can always email to myself or James after the workshop. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Swapna. We'll end the workshop now. Goodbye, everyone.